Get ready with me as I talk about how I became a TPM at Amazon. So I'm going to start off by giving all of the background information that I have. So to start, I went to the University of Michigan and I studied computer science. So I got also a minor in economics. The most important thing and how I was able to set myself apart was that I had internships every single summer of every year. The way I was able to get these internships was I applied to hundreds of places on LinkedIn and messaged people, found smaller firms that would be open to hiring me even if I didn't get paid very much, especially for that summer after freshman year. I worked at a tech education firm, kind of small in New York City, and able to set me apart for internships for the summer after my sophomore year. So sophomore year, I was an Explore intern, and this internship is specifically for sophomores and juniors. Explore intern is half PM, so program manager, and half software engineer. So since I had done my background in computer science, I had planned to be a software engineer. However, after me, I really wanted to go the PM route. So after that summer at Microsoft, the next summer I applied for specifically program manager internships. There were some places that I applied for internship, but a majority of them were program manager. I got one at Amazon and I worked on a team that I ended up really liking and I ended up doing well, and they gave me a return offer. So a return offer is one of the easier ways to get a job at one of these big companies. Whether you're in finance or really any kind of STEM field, like you want to go into consulting, IB, tech, anything like that, your internships almost matter more than your grades. I think one company had asked me for my transcript and like my grades and those kinds of things, whereas every single company asked me for my resume and my experience. And in the interviews, you were tested on specifically what you knew, and it didn't matter what grades you had and those kinds of things. Honestly, I would recommend to prioritize it as if it is another class that you're taking at that moment in time. Next, how I'm a TPM today. So when I was interviewing and when I got my return offer, it was for a program manager position. And in my mind at that time, that was what I wanted. After some time in the role as an intern, my manager and I had discussed that I was acting more as a technical program manager, which is, there's a distinction at Amazon specifically for those two roles. And a technical program manager gets paid a lot more than a regular program manager does. What I was able to do is I came back in September 2022 as a program manager, as a full-time program manager. After about a year of working at that role, I was able to transition to a technical program manager. So I did it this way because I really, really loved the team that I worked on, and I really wanted to continue working with them. Could have also just taken jobs as a TPM at a different company. But in my mind, since I've already sacrificed money for my livelihood, for example, I didn't want to be a software engineer. Software engineers will make more than a program manager or a technical program manager. In recap, the main things that I needed to do were obviously make sure I'm capable of coding and doing well in my classes, but the main thing was making sure that I was scoring internships, working hard during those internships so I can get return offers and not have to go through the whole interview process again, because honestly, it was very time-consuming and difficult. Being able to know that there are other options rather than just software engineering for my future was so great. There's product management, there's program management, there's technical program management. There's so many ways that you can go. And if you wanted me to talk more about like separate roles and different roles and what they are, then let me know. I went to a pretty decent school, and I was very privileged for that, and there was lots of recruiters that came to my school, but there was also a lot of competition between kids in my class, and it's easy to get discouraged. However, if you keep working at it, regardless of how long it takes you, you will get there at some point. For me, I wasn't perfect, but I also got lucky as well. I obviously didn't end up in the exact place that I wanted right after college. I had to work another year to be able to do that. Through all of this, the main thing that I realized is that you don't need to have like an exact perfect thing. You don't need to graduate college, have everything in mind, get your dream job afterwards. No one's doing that. No one's getting that. And if you are, I mean, great, glad for you, but that's not the majority. And I think that if you go in with the mindset that I'm gonna try my best, and these are the things that are important, doing well in school, practicing for interviews, getting interviews, working really hard during your internships. If you just keep working hard, I promise you it will work out for you at some point. Specifically, I've talked a lot about how to do this from college, from the college pipeline. And I can talk a little bit more about doing it. If you're currently already graduated college, you're looking into getting into tech, there's a lot of ways to get into tech as well, and I'm happy to discuss that. So yeah, that was a little bit about how I got the job that I have right now and just my experience in the past. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments or if you want me to make any more videos about this. Thanks for watching.